end today and used his radio show to get his message out. And lots of people heard it and got ready. And Ron Claiborne is in Times Square with this end of the world update. Good evening, Ron.
Hey, good evening, Josh. Well, the New York Daily News poked fun at the Doomsday Prophecy with this headline saying, "Buy this paper if it's the last thing you do." The prophecy was that at 6 p.m. local time, Judgment Day would start taking place with a violent earthquake somewhere in the world. Well, it's a little bit after 6 o'clock, and so far, nothing. For months, true believers had prepared for this day, putting their faith in the prediction of this man, 89-year-old Harold Campbell, a radio evangelist who said today, May 21st, would mark the beginning of the end.
I am utterly, absolutely convinced it is going to happen.
Convinced, he says, because the Bible is written in code and he has cracked it. It was to begin today with the rapture, depicted in the highly popular series Left Behind. Good Christians are called to heaven, shedding their clothing. Everyone else is left to perish as the world ends over the next 5 months.
Judgment Day, May 21.
Robert Fitzpatrick, a 60-year-old retiree, spent almost all of his life savings, $140,000, to pay for hundreds of posters in the New York City subway system, warning people to get ready. We caught up with him today just before 6 p.m. You believe that it would happen at 6 o'clock in 2 or 3 minutes, New York time.
Yes.
Inevitably, these doomsday prophets were the target of ridicule. And targets of entrepreneurs like the service promising, for a small fee, to take care of the pet you leave behind if you ascend to the rapture.
Who the hell takes care of it?
People have been trying to predict the exact date of the biblical end of times.
This has been going on since pretty much the Bible was written 1900 years ago, if not before then.
On October 22nd, 1844, thousands of people awaited the end. When the sun rose the next day, they called it the Great Disappointment.
And if you go to church.
And nearly 2 decades ago, Harold Campbell had his own great disappointment. He predicted the end of the world in September 1994. When that didn't happen, he rechecked his calculations and came up with today. We've been unable to get in touch with Harold Camping today, and his website has been overloaded, presumably by people trying to get on and figure out what's going on and their reaction to what appears to be a bust in this doomsday prophecy. And Josh, we just talked to Robert Fitzpatrick a little while ago. He was out in Times Square when 6 o'clock struck. A number of people were yelling at him and jeering him. He stood there quietly just reading his Bible. Josh?
Ron, I wonder, is anybody nearby a little disappointed that the end has not yet come?
My grandmother.
Everyone we spoke to, frankly, was ridiculing the idea, and I think a number of people said they were going to get to dinner or go get a drink before the end of the world, but nobody was taking this too seriously, at least here. But I got to tell you, just before 6 o'clock, the sky got awfully dark, but we're still here.
Perhaps Harold Camping can find some newer math. Ron Claiborne live in Times Square. And when we come back, so many students